If you want to live below your means and save money, here are a few things to get rid of. The belief that dual income means that you should significantly upgrade your home. And the key word here is significantly. If you were both living independently and managing well, there is no rule that says you have to upgrade once you move in together and combine your incomes. If possible, keep your housing expense close to what you were paying individually, or maybe only give it a slight bump. Trust me on this, you will thank me later. Chances are you don't need as much space as you think. And keeping your housing expense on the lower end will give you plenty of wiggle room. And while we're on this topic, stop thinking that you need a large home to be happy or successful. This gets a lot of people in trouble. Also, stop believing that eating out tastes better than cooking at home. I'm not saying that it's not enjoyable, because it is. But if you don't like the taste of your food, switch it up and experiment with new recipes. Because if you start liking what you make, you might look forward to eating at home. Likewise, stop thinking that dining out is the only way to socialize. I made this mistake in my 20s. And let go of the idea that you always need to add to your wardrobe. I recently read that most people use 20% of what they own about 80% of the time, which also applies to clothes. And finally, stop thinking that quality time with your partner requires spending money. Many simple activities like walking, hiking, cooking together, or even stargazing can be enjoyable.
I became a millionaire by age 26 and became financially free by age 30. These are 3 best tips that I can give you as a self-made multi-millionaire. Number 1, you have to live below your means and stop buying dumb shit. If you're not making over $500,000 a year, you shouldn't be driving a German car. Instead, you should be driving a Toyota or a Hyundai. Also, you shouldn't be wearing LVs, Gucci's, or Dior's. Instead, you should be wearing an H&M or Zara. Number 2, you have to find a way to make money in your sleep. If you don't do that, you're going to have to work until you die. And the best way to create a passive income source is by investing in real estate. And no, nowadays you don't need that much capital to invest in real estate. You can start out by using a strategy called rental arbitrage. And lastly, number 3, become a contrarian. Stop following the crowd. A person who walks alone are usually the ones that go furthest in life.
My boyfriend and I have a combined income that's multiple 6 figures, but you would not be able to tell by the way that we spend our money. So let's talk about some of the more surprising things we do to save money and live well below our means. First one, and probably the most controversial one, is that we live with 2 roommates. And I know a lot of people are going to comment saying, I could never live with a roommate with my partner. And we both used to think that same thing. But once we realized that we could own a home, only pay $550 each for the mortgage, and still be able to travel and invest a lot of money, we suddenly didn't mind it so much. Our house is also designed pretty well to have roommates. We have a 3rd floor of the house with 2 bedrooms and a bathroom that we never use. They kind of have their own separate entrance too, so we don't really see them a ton. Number 2 is that we both drive paid off / almost paid off cars that we plan on driving into the literal ground until the wheels fall off. I hate spending money on cars because they are a liability, and I don't want to spend money on liabilities. So I plan on having my little Subaru forever. Even if I have kids, I'm finding a way to shove that car seat in the back of my sedan. My boyfriend really wants a truck, which gives me the ick, and he probably would get one if he weren't so financially responsible. And to be fair, it would be pretty practical for us because we are renovating our house and doing a lot of house projects, and so having to shove like cabinets and like lumber in our sedans is just not it. But I am praying that his little Avalon holds on as long as possible. Number 3 is that we both don't buy a ton of clothing. Him more so than me, which is probably more of a guy thing too. But I have to like literally beg him to buy new clothes or just buy them for him. But he kept wearing this suit to all these weddings that was literally so tight. He was about to bust out of it. And I'm like, you cannot keep wearing that. Like, you need to get a new suit because you're about to rip a seam on the dance floor. Number 4, we grocery shop almost exclusively at Aldi. We both like Trader Joe's more, but Aldi is just so cheap. And if we can get all of our groceries for 2 under $80, like, I am taking that option. I have a lot more fun, silly things we do to save money, so let me know if you want a part 2.
I'm gonna hold your hand so tight when I say this. You do not have an income problem, you have a spending problem. You can make all the money in the world. Matter of fact, when I was making the most money I ever made in my life, going from like 40K a year to 120, 130K a year, I was the most broke I had ever been. Because I made every wrong mistake you could ever make when you start making money, and that has inflated my lifestyle. I got a brand new car, I got a really nice apartment that was way more than I could afford. But again, I justified it. I gaslit the fuck out of myself. Like, that's what I did. I gaslit myself because I was like, oh, I can afford it, I'm making money. Like, yeah, technically monthly payment wise, my bills versus my income was good. However, when you factor in debt, credit card payments, student loans, personal loans, collections, hello, credit scores, I'm sorry, but you can't afford it. If you're someone who, you make good money and you're like, I just need to make more money and then I'll be in a better position. Don't gaslight yourself. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't do it. You gotta fix your spending habits. You gotta start tracking your expenses. Like, don't just be buying whatever you can because you make money. No, you don't. But don't worry. If you're like, how am I supposed to stop spending when every other video I see, every other influencer I follow wants me to spend money? That's what I'm here for. I encourage good spending habits. Budgeting. We budget over here. Invest in quality items. Like, don't get me wrong. We invest, we have expenses, we have good skincare, good clothes, all that good stuff. But God forbid, are we gonna be overspending just to get the latest butter yellow top? Be so for real, you don't need it. Pay off your credit cards and have a good day.
These are some ways that I stay wealthy, and I think this is an important topic because it doesn't necessarily matter how much money you make, obviously enough to cover your cost of living, like, your bare expenses. It really matters how you manage your money, because if you're making like $200,000 a year, but you find a way to like piss it all away, you're still going to be broke. So this is like important. So the first thing is that I live below my means. For starters, my car is 20 years old and has over 200,000 miles on it. I could easily afford to go buy a new car tomorrow if I wanted, but I'm not. I'm running that thing into the motherfucking ground. And having no car payment has saved me so much money. The second thing is that I live below my means in my apartment. I live in my small hometown, and frankly, I do live in my parents' apartment, so they give me cheap rent. And before anyone comes for me, like 60% of people, I forget what the statistic is, but 60% of people like in their 20s or something have their parents helping pay their rent somehow. Granted, if I didn't live in my parents' apartment, they wouldn't be helping me. But I'm choosing to live in my small hometown because it's saving me a lot of money, even though I am making a sacrifice of being further away from my friends and stuff. Next way that I save money, or like this way is I underconsume, is that I don't eat out during the work week. I will eat out on the weekends if I'm doing something social, or like sometimes I want a fun treat or whatever, but I'm not getting coffee every day during the work week. I'm not Uber Eating. I can't even Uber Eats. There's like no restaurants in my town. Like there's only 2 restaurants to eat out from, so I'm definitely not in the habit of doing that, and that saves a lot of money and it's a lot healthier. The second way is if there's something I want, I like to wait at minimum 2 or 3 weeks to see if it's like really something I want. And along with that, I only buy high quality items. Like I am checking content labels. I want my items to be really good, buy nice or buy twice. If I'm buying leather, like it's real leather, it's not fake leather, because I want to buy like booties and then they last. I just want my items to be good and work for me and last for me.
What I do is I live way below my means. That's the number one rule. Live below your means. Stop trying to impress Sam, Sarah, and Suzanne. If you do that, you'll be in a position to win. Put a little to the side every month, every week, every day, whatever you suggest for yourself, and start stacking. Once you stack that, invest in yourself. Money in the bank sitting is a waste. Always invest in yourself. Take the chance on yourself. Bet on yourself. You can't lose.
If you're broke, you don't need a car note. You need a bus pass. I'm sorry. We need to normalize living below our means, being frugal. Some people don't want this advice, but maybe some of you will actually take it. A few years ago, I got my car, a 2018 Toyota Corolla. It's all black, has a little touchscreen radio. I loved it, but I had to take out a loan for it. I have about $7,000 left on my car loan, and my car payments are always on time. But I wish I took my dad's advice when I was car shopping. He literally said, Rachel, go on Facebook Marketplace, get like $1,000, $2,000 car. He told me to get a little hoopty, and I literally didn't even want to hear him. I was like, nope, no way. I want like at least a car with like a touchscreen radio. But man, at that time where my dad gave me that solid advice, I wish that I was truly listening. I was so worried about like the bells and whistles on this 2018 car that I am now in debt because of it. Now, don't get me wrong, not all debt is bad debt, but I could easily not have a car note right now if I just listened to my dad. In that moment, I was afraid to live below my means. Now I'm paying $250 a month for a car. So don't be like me and take the bus. Mind you, I did not say Uber or Lyft. I said take the bus, get a bus pass or walk. Carpool if you live in one of those places where a supermarket is like 20 miles from you. But if this life is not for you and you don't like it, click the link in my bio, learn how to make money online.
The day that you start living below your means is the day that you can become financially free. I used to be such an impulsive shopper. Like, I just felt like I needed to buy something right there and then I wouldn't think about it. Now I give myself a grace period, and most of the time I don't need it, I don't want it. My car, it's going on 10 years. It gets me from point A to B. I mean, that's all you need. My phone, I have an iPhone, but I would always buy refurbished because you don't need the latest and greatest. The one I have right now was a gift. Clothes, I love shopping at the thrift store. We don't always need to buy new stuff. And budgeting has become my best friend. I love to budget, plan my next month, check in with my weekly expenses, and prioritize saving and investing. And honestly, I still have a ways to go, but when I look back at where I was financially, like, I'm proud of myself.
Glad you asked. Number 1, live below your means. And I know we hear that a lot, but it's for real. I know you want to get them lashes done, them nails done, buy them new clothes, yada, 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 because you see the homegirl on TikTok living and thriving. But sis, we are not her. And that's okay. If your bills are not paid, you should not be getting your nails done. You should not be getting your hair done. You should not be going on vacations. None of that. It's all about priorities. Number 2, make a meal plan before you go and grocery shop for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This will prevent you from buying unnecessary things when you go to the grocery store. Number 3, save and put it in a high yield savings account. You want to build interest on your savings. Number 4, drive a beater. It's okay to drive an old car. Girl, deck it out and make it cute. Nobody cares what you drive. You're lucky to even have a vehicle. No car payment is best, but try to keep your car payment, if you can, below $200. Also, look to move up in your position. Try to find ways to get promoted or do a second job you enjoy.
So I finally met my savings goal of 2 years worth of living expenses, or like what I like to call my unemployment or layoff fund. And for reference, I'm 26 and I make about $120,000 across all of my streams of income. So I thought it'd be useful to kind of share some tips on how I was able to do this. So for one, you need to lower your cost of living. A lot of people are living way above their means. So just because you have a promotion doesn't necessarily mean that you should increase your cost of living. And just because you can afford a $3,000 rent doesn't mean that you should. 2 would be distributing your checks. So every time I get paid, a specific percentage of each check goes into 4 different accounts. So the 4 accounts that I have are a bills checking account. I have my high yield savings account on there. I have my layoff fund, and then I have a checking account, which is just specifically for whatever I personally want to use it on. So that's for like me going out. If I want to buy a new bag, that comes out from there. So this works for me because it's an out of sight, out of mind kind of approach. So if I don't see it, then I don't know it exists and I can't spend it. 3rd is to curtail your outings. Nightlife is very expensive right now. A drink can cost you anywhere between $22 to $30 in this day and age. You need to roll back what you're doing. Stay home. My last and final tip is stop falling victim to consumerism. Like the fact that social media was able to convince full-blown adults to purchase Labubus, I feel like is beyond me, but I won't yuck anybody's yum. Just a reminder that trends fade, and before you make a purchase, you need to be asking yourself, am I going to be using this in the next 6 months?
Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos. And don't forget to click on the notification bell. Bye.